Welcome back. We are now in part two, where we are speaking to Mr. Alghazzawi from ICC, Saudi Arabia. Mr. Alghazzawi, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Now, we were speaking about sustainable development with your members now. The world has actually gone through a massive war with the virus, COVID-19. And as we head into the post-pandemic world, help us to understand to what extent did COVID-19 and the restrictive measures that were put in place because of it have affected the economy in Saudi Arabia, and also the multilateral trade opportunities that your members were venturing on. And how bad was this impact, and how did ICC Saudi Arabia play an active role in the facilitation of international business transactions?
Yeah, actually, I think the COVID-19, the whole world was affected, and the whole is not about only the business were affected, even on the personal level.
That's right.
People around the world were affected by the COVID-19. And because after all the sudden, the whole business, the movement of the international trade has been paralyzed. And the whole world was not prepared for this type of crisis. So in different countries, they have a different ratio of effectiveness. I mean, I believe Saudi Arabia has the great work, actually, how to avoid and how to raise this ratio and not to be affected like the other countries. As I said, the effectiveness were different in different levels. Some countries, they were really affected, right. And there are also the business society, and some countries in different levels or ratios, they were better than the other. But the role of ICC Saudi at that time, we didn't have actually, as I said, we follow the ICC headquarters in Paris. And what we do in Saudi, you can find it in different countries, because right. We are one family. We carry one message, and we follow a few mandates. During the COVID-19, there were special programs, or messages for the business society around the world, not only in Saudi Arabia, because at that time the crisis was very hard on the business nation. Also about individuals, the ratio of trade has been affected. The food security being also affected. The whole international trade were affected. So ICC Saudi learned lots of lessons from this crisis, which is we are trying, to create different programs. And how we can be more precaution if this crisis happens again. We thought about how the importance of the technology during the crisis. We were thinking about or asking ourselves, are we going to wait until the crisis is done, or we have to move? I believe Saudi Arabia was one of the countries, one of the top countries who created different alternates to be connected to the other world through the technology. I mean, our events, our meetings was ongoing. We did not stop. We took the advantage of the technology, which is we learn, which is now we are doing this interview. I don't have to travel to your country, or you don't have to travel to my country to do the interview.
That's right.
Thanks to the technology, helped us a lot. One more thing, maybe you will ask me about it later, but let me give you some hints about it, which is the number of the digital businesses have been created in Saudi. The merchandises, the international and local companies, they started to create their own websites. If you want to purchase your groceries, your needs, clothes, shoes, whatever you need, you can purchase it online, and you don't have to leave your house, drive your car, stay on the queue to buy what you need. This is very important, actually, aspect of the what we learn. Also, very good lesson from the COVID-19 pandemic. The second thing, Saudi Arabia was one of the best countries who created a new technology and new systems that you can renew your driving license, you can renew your passport, your ID, or any type of services that needs the physical existence, that you can do it online. Even you can buy cars online, and you can pay online. So thanks to the government of Saudi Arabia, who created this new image, and how they created the great digital services for the locals, and not even for the locals, even for the international society. So we did not feel that we are isolated. We are connected from the first day of the pandemic until the end of the pandemic, that we continue our life, we continue the business. And of course, it's been the ratio of the economy has been affected like the other countries, but what I have mentioned in different ratios. So those are the very important lessons where we have learned from the pandemic. And I believe in the future, hopefully not, but we have to put more programs to avoid any other pandemics or crisis that can happen to any country around the world.
You know, what you say is very true. There's been massive changes, not just in business models, but also the purchasing behavior of consumers.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, everybody's buying everything online these days. They don't even have to leave their house. Everything is being delivered. In the middle of the issue, the big problem that we were having with the COVID-19, a lot of businesses saw opportunity. There were businesses that collapsed, but then again, there were businesses that said, you know, I'm not going to let this virus win. We are going to win. So
exactly. And that's actually what happened with the business society in Saudi. I mean, the local shops, they created their website to continue their businesses. You know, I mean, they are not going to stop to wait, because all the shops during the pandemic were closed. But so they made the drastic change, you know, and they did not let the COVID-19 to win or to affect their business. So they went to the digital solutions to continue their mission, to continue their business. Yeah,
that's right. And I do understand that some of the smaller companies, the micro, small, medium enterprises, they would have had, I mean, this is across the board in other countries as well, but they would have had certain issues dealing with evolving technology. Have you come across any companies that were having issues or having any difficulties adapting to?
Yes, of course. We are not talking about all the companies or the local shops, local companies, small or large.
Right.
being doing very good in their business. Too many I heard, and we saw it, that the small businesses, those were not actually following the right way, to follow the technology. They were closed and they were corrupted. I mean, what happened here happens in the other countries around the world.
That's right.
But they learned from the lesson. They learned from this very important lesson that always there is alternative ways that they can run their businesses. It's not, as we mentioned, and we all agree, it's not only about the business, even about the personal level. People they were very prepared, for other crises. I mean, what happened in Saudi, the very quick solutions, if we are talking about making the other solutions, to protect the nation in Saudi. It's not about the business, it's about the person, how the programs, they put a very developed programs, to stop this pandemic in Saudi, and it's not spreading around people. Those new programs were being actually adopted by other countries. We are not talking about here the health achievements that are being done by the Saudi government, but it's all being affected. When the high number of people are getting the COVID-19, of course, other things will be affected, and the business one of them. So we believe, and we saw that around the media, Saudi were one of the very developed countries who can win the battle against COVID-19.
Right. That's really good to know that Saudi had in fact almost everything in place to handle this pandemic. We can never predict what's
Exactly.
going to happen. It's difficult, especially when it comes to investment, or you're talking about 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. It's very difficult for us to even say what's going to happen next month with this virus
Exactly.
and the variants that are coming into play. But we have to move on. We have our
We
framework.
have to, of course.
We have to move on, and we are all heading towards sustainability for the future, for our future generations as well. Now,
Exactly.
Running a business, it's all about connections, be they local or be they international. In fact, the more connections we have, I believe you agree also that we have more opportunities and more options open for us. I understand that ICC Saudi Arabia has various activities planned for your members with precisely this in mind. Can you tell us the various ways that you actually help your member organizations reach out and connect to global opportunities through your events?
Yeah, actually, at ICC Saudi, beside the initiative which I talk about to visit the G20 countries, also we are hosting an event to Saudi Arabia. We at the ICC Saudi, we are not just focusing on the business people or our members, because our services have been extended to the private sector and the governments.
Right.
Very important right now to think about or to prepare the new generation. For example, we have this initiative to go to the universities, to discuss with the universities in Saudi Arabia how we can establish a new training programs free of charge for their students, to teach them in different sectors. I mean, If they study management, we have to teach them more about economy. We have to teach them about international trade. We have to teach them more lessons about export, import. And this is actually our mission, to prepare a new generation. Beside, we have one of our committees is the digital economy. It's not about to do the connection between the digital economy sectors in Saudi to the international arena. No, we have to also think about the new generation. Who's going to lead any country in the future are the new generation. Those people, those students at the universities, we have to prepare them. We don't want to wait for them to graduate and then to look for the training programs. No, we go, this is our mission and we have to do this. We have to go. I think ICC Saudi, the only one who did this initiative, to go for them and to teach them about different subjects or topics, especially who study the law. We go to them and we try to host the training programs to tell them about the International Court of Arbitration or the case management, beside their what they learn in their colleges. And we already succeeded in this, and we have different training programs. You know, training is power, information is power. You know, if people, they will not come to you, they think you are the hub for business people. No, we are not only, ICC Saudi is not the hub for only business people. Also, we teach, we get the information to their door. We go to them. We are signing an agreement with the chambers, with the universities, to align them with us, because they are the family. And then when we have this yearly meeting at the ICC headquarters, we talk about our programs, we talk about our initiatives, that the other countries, they can do what we have done. So the mission of ICC Saudi is not, you know, the slogan, we make business work for everyone, every day, everywhere. This is a slogan of ICC. So we did not say we make business for only business people. We make business and we help, we teach, we train as much as we can. Also, we are getting accreditation, we are getting agreement with some international universities to convey our messages in the Saudi society. And this is actually the main aim right now in 2022 and the next year. Beside, ICC Saudi had the chance to have the Center for Entrepreneurs. It's available around 12 countries. It's under the umbrella of the ICC headquarters. And we requested to have the number 13 in Saudi Arabia. So the Entrepreneurship Center in Saudi Arabia, we will sign the agreement on the 23rd of this November. It will be the umbrella and the hub for all the entrepreneurs. Not even in Saudi, in the GCC country, the Saudi doors are open for everyone who wants to create new things, who can extend new and good initiative for the whole world. Because before, going back to the COVID-19 topic, before we thought we are here, we are Saudi, the country beside us, UAE or Jordan, Lebanon, Paris, India, whatever. No, after the COVID-19, we discovered that we are one family. Yes, we have to defend our nation. We have to defend our goals, and because we are living for a happy nation. We are trying to help cooperate and working hand in hand.
Mr. Alghazzawi, first of all, I just want to say a big thank you because
thank you very much.
To be honest, you have touched me. I believe everyone who is going to listen to this, who is going to see this video, is going to be touched as well.
Exactly, this is true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know,
not just the
it's
action.
You know, humanity is a part of everything. You know, when we feel, as I told you, I've been working here. Sorry for the interruption.
It's okay.
But one more thing, you know, I want to add. As working since 2009 at the Federation of Saudi Chambers, we are surrounded at the ICC Saudi. We are surrounded with the business people. That's good. You know, we provide them with everything from A to Z, what they need through our network with the international organization or our counterparts. But we have to think about the humanity, and we have to think about the new generation. Who's gonna develop my son or your daughter and my daughter? Are you going to go for Google to think about the new programs, how to develop them, how to teach them new things? No, this is our aim. This is actually, we have to do it. We have to go and focus on the new generation. You know, the percentage of the youth around the world are a very high number, very high number. They are going to lead the countries. Maybe in a few years you can find the president of any country. Maybe he or she around 30 or 35 years old.
That's right.
You know, before, like 10 or 20 years ago, they deal with this age as a still very young, and they know nothing about the future. No, this is our message. This is our aim. We have to prepare the new generation for the new leadership in different sectors, and we have to think about the other societies, how we can extend our services to them. We have to invite them to our country. We teach them. We have to think about, we put very important in consideration the humanitarian work. You know, this is only just a start of the ICC, the message of ICC Saudi. As I said, we make business work for everyone, every day, everywhere.
I really love your initiative where you keep education relevant.
Exactly.
Based on what's going on in the real world for the future generation. You know, what
we have to.
What I learned in school is completely obsolete right now. You know, so
yes, yeah. You know, what we do right now, we did not 50%. What I do right now, nobody teach me that at school.
That's
right. They have certain topics, certain subjects that they have to stick with it. The student must stick with it. But this is a role of the other organization, the non-profit organization, you know, to open their eyes, to make them explore the other knowledge. And we already agreed that information is power.
Right. You know, Mr. Alghazzawi, upon seeing this video, a lot of organizations out there would be curious about what it takes to be a member of ICC in Saudi Arabia. Maybe you can highlight a few pointers. I believe it's a comprehensive procedure, but and I do believe also you have to be a Saudi in order to be a member in Saudi Arabia. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, according to the new law, but it's not actually implemented yet. That even foreign people who are having business in Saudi, They can, no matter their nationality is, they can join the membership of the chambers. We have 28 chambers in Saudi. And the same law or this article, it will be implemented in our bylaw at the ICC Saudi. So very soon, the non-Saudis can join the membership of ICC. We have 5 categories. Of course, they have to be business people, right. not only large. They have one category for large companies, small companies, medium companies, and also later on, we are creating new categories for chamber members and for individuals. Later, I'm thinking, just 2 days ago, I've been negotiating this with our board, talking about making one special category for youth, and it's free of charge to support our vision, support our initiative to make the young people, schools, universities. Of course, they should not be less than 18 years old. They can join this category for youth members, because I believe, and I'm sure what I can see from my small kids, they got a lot, to join. Maybe they have a different ideas. They have more initiatives to develop. Sometimes you cannot stick with the one scenario. You have to create another generation who can open your eyes, because they are out of the box, better than the people inside the box.
Kids see things differently. The way they look at things is, it's a very, very innocent, very innocent perspective. Like sometimes when I go for my business meetings as well, I would bring my young son, and he would just sit there, and later on he will give me some feedback and say, "Hey, Dad, earlier on when this guy said this, maybe I think that he actually, when you read between the lines, I think he's actually trying to say this." And I was like, "Oh, is that right?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think he's trying to say something else." And
you see,
and they see things from a different perspective. And I do agree with you that it should be open up for youth as well. I'm not sure, would they consider making it mandatory for youth who are more inclined towards business or who are studying business in schools, or would they make it mandatory?
No, not really important. Not really important, because we are working on developing a new programs for them. They don't have to. Of course, we teach them business, and we give them more information about economy, about globalization, about digitalization, and different, make them more responsible for business.
Right.
Business or how to do business, it can affect your personality even at home. We hear lots of quotes from the old generation or the business leaders around the world. We have to teach our family how they can invest today before tomorrow. It's not investment. It's not only about money. Even you can invest in knowledge. When you put your kids in a very good school, it's an investment. When you make them join ICC Saudi, it's an investment, because we are now creating new topics, in new sectors, in new programs, how we can cooperate with their schools, how we can make their membership more effective. It's not all about international trade. As I said, we have 12 committees: marketing, trade, arbitration, digital, customs. If they get more information about each committee, believe me, 1 year, this member has a tremendous information about the international trade and what they do, and you give them the experience. This experience can make them reach a very good positions, very good jobs in the future. So we are helping the new generation to achieve their goals. If they don't have a goal, we can create goals for them.
Completely agreed. Completely agreed. Mr. Alghazzawi, thank you so much. We have come to the end of this interview, but before we go,
thank you.
I would like to ask you, do you have any final words you would like to share with the global business community?
Actually, I have one thing that I always say. You know, making mistakes is better than faking perfections. It's not a bad to make a mistake, but don't fake a perfection. Be yourself, try to learn, invest in yourself, in knowledge, learn every day, and listen from the experienced people, and do your best, you know, to help others. I mean, those are many phrases what I said, but it goes around, you know, appreciating what you do, because what you do, some people they don't do. And my advice for the international business society, don't think about only giving services for business people. Think about or focus on the new generation, because they are the future leaders.
Thank you. That really resounds with me. I have 3 young kids, and I know exactly what you mean. Mr. Alghazzawi, I thank you so much for your time, and we will definitely see you again. Hopefully within a month when we have certain events coming up. In fact, I have a webinar which would be launched within a month or so. We would keep you
informed,
and we will work on that with you.
Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate giving me your time and allowing me to talk about the ICC and different things in this interview. And looking forward for other interviews, other meetings, and we work on seeing you soon in person.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, your team too. Thank you very much.
You have just heard from Mr. Mohammed Alghazzawi, the Director of International Cooperation in the International Chamber of Commerce, Saudi Arabia. As he has mentioned, through the chaos caused by the pandemic, we have come to realize that the world must come together as one, not just for the survival of mankind, but also to ensure stability and progress for the future generations of leaders. If you are part of the business community in Saudi Arabia, I would strongly recommend that you take up an ICC membership so that your business interests are well supported. To learn more about ICC Saudi Arabia or to take up a membership, click on the links below. Please leave your comments and remember to subscribe to our channel and join us as we journey through the exciting world of business chambers. I'll see you next on The Chamber Guy.